Just when Canadians thought it was safe to buy the conservation argument, a mob of violent non-native fishermen wait until nightfall to terrorize two Migma fishers and destroy their lobster. The failure of law enforcement to end the violence gives this racist mob a sense of impunity which only serves to put the lives of Migma peoples at even greater risk. And yes, this is Canada. So, first the facts. A Migma journalist, Maureen Googoo, reports that last night, after dark, a mob of hundreds of non-native fishermen trapped two Migma fishers in their lobster pound. The Migma fishers had no choice but to call the RCMP, who didn't arrive until 2 hours later. The RCMP then told the Migma fishers that the mob of non-native fishermen would let the Migma fishers leave if they handed over all of their lobster. There are so many videos and eyewitness accounts to all of these events, which all confirm that the angry mob was throwing rocks, making threats, burned one of the vans owned by the Migma fishers, as well as breaking in and stealing some of the lobster and then destroying the rest with chemicals. Chief Michael Sack of Sipekne'katik First Nation called this an act of terrorism, and I have to agree. These fishermen are out of control and acting well outside of the law. Someone is going to seriously be hurt or worse if law enforcement doesn't stop this violent mob of racists. And now, today, before I even finish preparing for this video, I see pictures on Twitter of one of these racist fishermen assaulting Sipekne'katik Chief Michael Sack. Chief Sack is the elected leader of one of our Migma communities and has been very respectful and open about his community's governance of their fishery. He does not deserve to be attacked, nor do any of our Migma fishers. Canada would never in a million years stand for a Migma person assaulting a city mayor, a provincial premier, or a prime minister. And you know what else? We as Migma peoples would never even think to do that as a political strategy. So no, the angry mob of racist white fishermen are not justified in their violence and the terror they are inflicting on our peaceful peoples. And you know what else? Enough is enough. No more excuses, explanations, or benefits of the doubt. What is happening in Nova Scotia is not the result of a lack of public education on Migma rights. These fishermen know all about Migma treaties. They know very well that our treaties have been protected in the Constitution and that the Supreme Court of Canada has upheld our treaty rights to fish in the treaties of 1760 and 61. How do I know they know? Well, it was the non-native fishermen who appealed to the Supreme Court of Canada to try to have our legal victory overturned. And have you looked at any of their social media comments? The level of racism and hatred is astounding. They are literally posting pictures of what they're doing and not even hiding the fact that they committed these crimes. They seem very confident that the police won't stop them. And I feel very confident that the police won't stop them either, but not due to a lack of information about our treaties. The problem has never been a lack of information about our treaties. In the Atlantic region, we've been celebrating and promoting the treaties for decades. The first Treaty Day celebration in Nova Scotia was in 1986, after we won the Simon case at the Supreme Court of Canada, confirming our hunting rights in the Treaty of 1752. Then, October 1st was officially proclaimed as Treaty Day in 1993 by the province of Nova Scotia and the Migma Grand Council. Education on Migma treaties has continued in both the education system and in the public ever since. So this might be news to some of you who live in other parts of Canada or, say, the United States, but this is old news in the Atlantic region. We have the right to fish and to sell it. We have the constitutionally protected Aboriginal right to do this, and the constitutionally protected treaty right to do this. But even more powerful than any Canadian law is found in our Migma laws. We are a sovereign nation with our own inherent powers and jurisdiction to govern our lands, waters, and resources according to our laws. And neither our laws nor our jurisdiction over all of Mi'kma'ki have ever been extinguished or surrendered. And now even international laws protect our rights to self-determination and our land and resource rights. These non-native fishermen and the massive fishing industry they're engaged in all know this. But they simply don't want Mi'kmaq peoples to enjoy our treaty rights to fish and to provide for our families. They would see us live in the poverty created by centuries of genocide and dispossession, then share even a fraction of this multi-billion-dollar industry. These fishermen represent the very worst of the deeply ingrained attitudes of white superiority and entitlement that has resulted in the racialized violence, oppression, and dispossession of Mi'kmaq peoples for their own economic and political benefit. What the non-native fishermen are doing in Nova Scotia is nothing short of terrorism. Their acts of racialized violence day after day has shown us that their opposition to the Migma fishery was never about conservation. This was always about maintaining their death grip on Mi'kmaq lands, waters, and resources. How do I know this? Well, I'm going to share 5 key points that show that this violence was never about conservation. First, Sipekne'katik spent years working on their governance plan and included the most up-to-date Migma and scientific information about fish stocks and how to best manage the conservation aspect. Number 2, the Canada Research Chair in Integrated Ocean and Coastal Governance, Megan Bailey, said that the scale of the Migma fishery is so small that it can't possibly hurt the fishing stocks. Non-native commercial fishers are fishing more than 350,000 traps every day during the fishing season. Migma fishers? 350. That's literally a fraction of 1%. Number 3, Dalhousie University's Department of Biology not only condemned the violence against Mi'kmaq people by these fishers, but confirmed that there is no credibility on biological grounds over the alleged conservation concerns. And number 4, we know that the massive seafood corporation Clearwater was convicted for gross violations of fisheries regulations, which, according to the Department of Fisheries notions, posed a serious conservation risk to the lobster. And this was just last year. I'm sorry, where were all the little angry white fishermen protesting Clearwater, setting their boats on fire and endangering the lives of Clearwater fishermen? Oh yeah, that's right. They weren't anywhere to be found. And you know what else? Clearwater has the exclusive right to fish in their zone and is not subject to any fishing seasons. But wink, wink, that's okay so long as it's not Mi'kmaq peoples without a fishing season. And finally, number 5. The destruction of the Migma lobster by the mob last night showed that they would rather destroy the lobster than either protect it or share it with the Migma. The only risk that there has ever been to the sustainability and health of the fishery in Mi'kmaq waters are the large, non-native commercial fishing operations who operate by their own rules, break conservation rules, and hoard all of the economic benefit for themselves. And that's in disregard for the health of the fishery and the well-being of Mi'kmaq peoples. This resource has always been a part of our sovereign jurisdiction, but Canada's starvation policies, political bullying, and threats of law enforcement and incarceration have kept our peoples impoverished. These fishermen have been only too happy to reap the benefits of our oppression for generations. It's long past time to balance the scale and protect the fishery. I stand with Sipekne'katik and their assertion of their right to govern their own fishery. Mi'kmaq peoples have a right to govern our lands, our waters, and our resources according to our laws. It's It's long past time to make reparations for ongoing genocide and violence that continues against Mi'kmaq peoples. And that means the status quo can't continue. And it's through your support that we'll make sure that it doesn't. Thank you all for your continued support of all of the Mi'kmaq people in the Atlantic region and all of the actions you have taken to put pressure on governments to take action and protect the Mi'kmaq. Do what you can to share this video on social media, within your universities, organizations, and community groups. We need to get the word out and stand with the Migma to defend our rights. And make sure you are following every Mi'kmaq person you can on social media. Chief Michael Sack, Chief Andrea Bear, Cheryl Maloney, Maureen Googoo, all the Mi'kmaq chiefs, the Mi'kmaq Grand Council. There's a whole list of Mi'kmaq lawyers, journalists, and community members who have taken to social media to ensure that the Mi'kmaq fishers are protected and that we all have eyes and ears on what's happening. Thank you for watching. Till next time, stay alert, warriors.